Good morning, YouTube. So one of my more recent random struggles is that my sun visor is broken on the driver's side of my Saturn, and it won't stay up at all. It just hangs. Which doesn't sound like it would be much of a problem, but when I get up, sometimes I'm tired. And what I need to get myself going is drink some Mountain Dew as I'm driving. Drinking soft drinks while driving, generally considered acceptable and normal behavior. That's why pretty much all motor vehicles have cup holders. Shit. Even my forklift at Amazon had a damn cup holder. They sort of frowned upon us using it, but it had it. When I tilt my head back to take a drink, the angle that it puts my eyes at leaves my vision of the road completely blocked by the sun visor. So I have to twist my body into really weird positions while I'm drinking in order to see the road. Or I have to take my other hand and push the sun visor up. Nothing good ever comes from a grown man on a 20-inch bicycle. Should I say a bicycle with 20-inch rims? Yeah, that was not a big enough traffic to make a U-turn at the no U-turn spot. So I'm gonna have to come up here to the U-turn okay spot. Oh, this isn't too bad. It is hot out today. I can't believe we're less than a week away. In fact, less than a week away. Shit, I think today is the day before Thanksgiving. I'm not sure if today is the day before Thanksgiving or if it's a week before Thanksgiving. I know it's Wednesday. I guess I should say the date. Oh, no, it's not Wednesday. Wow, shows how with it I am today. I said I've been kind of struggling to get going. It's Tuesday, November 14th, 2023, 1:50 p.m. I hate this little thing here. That looks like it should be a free flow lane, but there's a yield sign, and traffic turning left onto this freeway from McDowell often drifts right over into that lane as they turn. So if there's that much traffic, I kind of feel the obligation to stop. Now, I think that can be solved by just continuing the lane a little bit. Not really far, just a little bit. And then putting the little plastic, they're called bollards, but I think bollards are something bigger. Anyway, the little plastic things, the ones that don't absolutely destroy people in their cars if they hit them, but make enough noise to let you know you fucked up. But just kind of put a solid line and put those about 2-3 car lengths. Enough that people that are turning right can get going and get established in the lane, and people that are turning into it from the left are forced to establish themselves in the lane they turned into before changing lanes, and forced to observe whether or not there's somebody in that lane before drifting into it. That doesn't address the problem with how dangerous that slip lane there is for pedestrians on McDowell, but I'm in Phoenix. Come on now. Do pedestrians matter at all here? They're just a statistic everybody conveniently ignores and generally assumes is homeless. So I'm going through the airport because I didn't look at what the traffic was like going into the mini stack and didn't want to risk getting stuck in that traffic jam. Also, the closer to 2 o'clock that I get, the more traffic there is there. And it's 1:54 right now, so I'm going to be a little bit late for work. I ended up staying exactly 1 hour extra yesterday. I really need to have a talk with some MLS management about me being able to work overtime. I'm not good at initiating those kinds of conversations. And it seems like every time I do actually see them, they're so busy. And the easiest thing, of course, is to just go about my business and not have any conflict. Which reminds me, I still don't think I've been paid for the day after I had the incident with Jesse. Kind of odd how things have turned around so much with Jesse. I'm actually really looking forward to the next shift that I work alone and I'm working with Jesse. This last night I couldn't get any help at all out of Anthony. And the last shift I worked with Jesse, not only did I get help from Jesse, Jesse actually came and personally helped me, and we worked side by side for like 90 minutes. And I think he got a better appreciation for what exactly it is that I do, because he pretty much just let me guide what our flow was. And I showed him how kind of I do this kind of cycle of up and down, and every time I'm walking back up, doing the little moves down on the maintenance line of just bumping the cars up, rather than getting lost and bumping the cars up, I just move on and keep on moving, which is probably what I should have done last night. At one point I was down between my lunch break, which I actually took in the break room, and then going back and wanting to rearrange stuff. I definitely startled one of the managers last night. He was sort of taking a break. A lot of people will take breaks in the cars that aren't their brakes, if you know what I'm saying. And he was kicking back in one of the electric vehicles that was sitting on a charger and vaping. I think that's a big no-no as well, vaping in the car. But anyway, I walked up on him, and I wasn't trying to startle him or walk up on him or bust him for vaping. I don't give a shit about that stuff. I just saw an electric vehicle at a charger with its lights on. So my first thought was that I needed to swing by that vehicle and make sure that the lights were off, because obviously having lights and other shit on in an electric car is going to slow down the progress of the charging. And I was hoping that the lights were on because he was there moving them, which in fact it was. He was just taking a little break with his vape pen. But I wanted to ask him where he was at and let him know that I had just put one maintenance car on a charger, and that I had several more that I wanted to put on chargers, and then let him know that the one... Generally, I try to keep space between the ones that are still charging from his project and then what I'm doing. There's an obvious separation, but there was one on the other side of mine. I just wanted to let him know. In fact, I pulled the cord right off his and stretched it, but I wanted to let him know that Polestar 2 that he was charging was done. And there were some other ones that were done, but particularly the Polestar 2. But yeah, I can tell I started the hell out of him, and he had that whole look of, oh shit, I'm busted. I'm like, dude, I'm not here to bust anybody. I'm just here to see what's going on with these cars. But I did end up putting 4 cars on the chargers. And it could be said that the reason I got behind is because I was wasting time putting those cars on those chargers. Now, I'm a big believer in taking care of things ahead of time can save exponential time down the road. And that's what I'm looking at with those maintenance cars that I put on chargers. Which, granted, it does slow my progress in bringing cars down. I thought I was completely caught up on bringing cars down when I finally went upstairs. Enormous line of cars, like all the way on the Hertz side. Speaking of rental cars, look, there's a big old Enterprise rental truck. Their truck rental center is actually further down the road at... I'm not sure if it's right at the corner. I think it's a little bit south of the corner, but 7th Street and Buckeye. I have no idea where Hertz is. I do know that we get those trucks in from time to time in our maintenance yard to take care of them, but we don't rent them there and we don't kick them out there. I think I've had a couple times where I've actually bumped them up on the line, but that's been about it. I've never done anything So yeah, when I got upstairs, like the line was huge. And as I mentioned last night, I had that awkward moment where he was chatting with Meyer. I didn't even realize Meyer was the manager on duty. Usually when Meyer's the manager on duty, like, we touch base periodically throughout the night. And I hadn't talked to Meyer at all, so I just assumed it wasn't him. So, better wrap this up. I'm at my last traffic light. So, done all these vlogs about what happened last week, and I forgot to mention one of the biggest things that happened. And I addressed it as I was vlogging, as it was happening, when I was out Saturday looking for karaoke work, that I had sent an email to Sean, who my girlfriend Priscilla refers to as the awesome Aussie. He's the only person I have regular contact with who's an Australian. And the response I got from him is so completely Australian. And even though I'm late to work, it's only 2:01 right now. It's not bad. Let me turn on my hotspot. Obama phone 5. Into the Hertz Center. Well, you really can't see that Hertz is over here from the road here unless you know it is. It's been a long time since I've really noticed how driving along, there's quite a bit of traffic trying to get out and turn left there too. How from the road you just kind of see this, what looks like a maintenance road that I turn into, but everything else hidden behind 2 layers of fences. One of these days I want to talk about those little carts that are there. Wow. There's I'm not sure if my video captured it, but there's like a lift, like a power lift, parked in the cul-de-sac. I wonder if the city of Phoenix is coming to change out some of the light bulbs, the lighting around here. So there's these street light poles like right up ahead. We're about 50% of them around our lot that don't work, have dead, presumably just dead bulbs in them. And I genuinely don't know whether that's Hertz's responsibility or the city of Phoenix's responsibility. Like, this entire facility is owned by the city of Phoenix, and Hertz leases it. I'm 90% certain. I don't think there's any way Hertz could actually buy this. And certainly the rental car center is an amenity of the city of Phoenix. So presumably these lights, which are part of it, well, I presumably is kind of pushing it, but I think there's a good chance it's the city of Phoenix's lights and their responsibility. I don't know. All I know is there sure is a lot of them that don't work, and it gets dark out here at night. I think that's Daniel rolling around over there on the golf cart. Or actually Dan. I'm Dan. He's Dan. Oh, nope, that's the guy who wraps his face like a mummy. He's running jokes that there seems to be some kind of a special relationship between him and Esther. And there are moments I do kind of wonder about that. All right, I wanted to read this email from Sean, the awesome Aussie, who owns and operates, and to my knowledge is basically a one-man show with SongBookDB.com. Priscilla's texting me back. I sent her a dirty picture of the wee hours of the morning. I'll talk later about what I did last night, because I really got to get my ass to work. But here it is, SongBookDB. So when my payment first didn't go through last July, I had responded to the automated email. That's another thing I really love about SongBookDB. With most companies, if you respond to one of their automated emails, it just goes to Never Never Land. You might get an automated response telling you that that is an unmanned email box and that you can't send emails to it, or you might get an automated email telling you that it's not a valid email address and delivery to the server failed. But rarely, with automated emails from businesses, do you get a hand-typed reply from a person. So that alone just makes SongBookDB really unique. Anyway, back July 21st, I apologized that the payment didn't get through, said I didn't know what the issue was, but that I'd take care of it. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. No rush. Well, and then it got shut down back towards the end of July. I was dealing with so much shit in July, just teetering on the edge of homelessness. The least important things for me were PayPal and SongBookDB. Wasn't worried about it. And especially considering that I had a karaoke gig in the middle of July that only lasted 2 weeks, I kind of left a bitter taste in my mouth regarding all things karaoke. So, yeah, fuck my karaoke website. I'm focusing on other shit. Anyway, I finally wrote him back on Saturday when I was over at the OTB, or whatever the fuck it was called, on the Green, OTG, enjoying the cover band. Before I had this great conversation with a couple that was a little bit older than me, probably about 4 or 5 years older than me, about the resurgence of Elvis when he died. That's another topic for another time that I probably will never get back to. But anyway, I wrote Sean, sorry it's taken me so damn long to reply to this, but I have been going through some really rough times and I've had to put my karaoke on the back burner. I've come frighteningly close to homelessness a couple times since then. Someone hacked my PayPal and I haven't been able to sort it out, which it, typed it instead of Y. It instead of is. I hate it when I do that. Why the auto payments never went through. Would you be able to restore my account? I have other ways to pay, but still have been unable to restore my PayPal account. And the response from him, which came later that night, I'm not entirely sure what time it came. I noticed it as Priscilla and I were over at, I want to say when we were over at the second bar, we went to Woodshed 2 to do some karaoke with Donk. And then after that, we went to, well, there's a maintenance crew right there. Collie and the new guy, anyway. I forget the new guy's name. He wears a beanie like Tim Pool, and he's kind of funny. Anyway, after that, we went to the Wander Inn, and I think I was at Wander Inn when this email came back from Sean. It says, and this is just so much better than expected. He wrote, no problem, Dan. And this is where it comes off so Australian. You've been a bloody loyal customer, mate. So I've put your account back into a free trial mode for 3 months to help you get back on your feet. When it comes to the end of the trial, you can set up a new payment like so. And then he gave me specific directions for everything and how to set it up with my PayPal account not working. So I don't need a PayPal account to make the payments. Just, wow. I wasn't, shit, I was gonna be completely down to pay him, the $7 a month for the, since July, just for hosting, well, not necessarily hosting, but for hanging on to all my files and everything. And no, 3 months free. So my SongBookDB back online, and I added 8 new songs to my karaoke last night. I'd love to talk more about it, but I need to get my ass to work. I'm late. Mountain Dew's hitting the spot. Thanks for coming with me on the drive.